Hello, I'm so happy you're here today. We are going to be doing two fun techniques. The shaker card, which you can see here, plus this partial die cutting of the butterfly. Can you see that butterfly is attached to the base? Hi Stampers, this is Dawn, and today we're going to do two fun techniques on this one butterfly card. We're going to make it a shaker card. You can see here, everybody loves shaker cards. And then we're going to do a technique called partial die cutting. I've done this video maybe 7 years ago, and I also used a butterfly for that video. And I will actually have the link posted down below and above if you want to go check that video out. But we're going to go ahead and make this card. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the supplies are not very many. We're going to use the basic white thick cardstock. This is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then a piece of Mango Melody, which is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then a piece of window sheet, which is cut at 3 by 4 1/4. So first we're going to take a shape. You can use a circle, you can use a square. I'm using the rectangle because it's easy to cut. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and take our shape of our die, and I'm just going to draw a template. So I'm going to not quite draw it in the center of the card because I want my big, large butterfly to fly off in the corner on the top left. So I'm just going to draw my rectangle about right here, more so over to the right-hand side. So I'm just going to draw my outline, my pencil. Okay. And then we're going to stamp. We're going to take our butterflies. Now these are from the stitched rectangle dies. And then we're also going to be using the Butterfly Brilliance bundle. When you purchase these in a bundle, you can save 10%. So you get the stamp set and the dies. And then also remember, I also have a video posted, and I'll link that above and below, on how I cut my butterfly stamp set and my dies apart. So we could use them like this today. All right, so this is just a piece of tape we're going to use when we're die cutting. So we're going to be using both the stamp set and the dies. We're going to use the Memento ink. And I'm going to ink up my larger butterfly first. Okay, we're going to stamp this inside of the guide, but we're going to also stamp a little part of the butterfly hanging over top of the guide. So hopefully you can see my pencil line right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my butterfly right about here. Okay, then I'm going to stamp my second butterfly towards the bottom. Because remember, we're going to cut this area out that's going to be having the butterflies just like floating in midair. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my second butterfly. Now I'm going to put this butterfly, I'm going to keep the bottom part of the wings attached to the side of the card. So I'm going to bring that up about right there. Okay. Now we're going to grab our die cut machine and our dies. For today's video, I'm actually going to be using the little mini die cut acrylic plate. So you can get a set of 2 in our catalog that go with the mini die cut machine. But for this technique, this little mini plate works perfect. And then of course I'm using the full size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So the sandwich, let me show you here, is the number 1 plate and the number 2 and then the number 3. And then from the mini die cut machine, I'm just using the number 2 acrylic plate. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up card just like that, and then we're going to grab our dies. Make sure these are my dies I'm using. I know this one is the one, but this one, yep, that's the one. All right, so let's just cut this one first. So hopefully, let me see if this is on camera. Yep. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of Scotch tape, and this is like removable, or it's called low tack artist tape. And it's by Scotch 3M. So this is what I'm using on my machine to hold my butterflies in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this butterfly up right where we want to cut him. That looks really good right there. So we're going to take a piece of this tape. I just don't want my butterfly to move. So I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to put the tape over the die and put it on the inside of my cardstock that I'm going to be actually cutting out later with my scissors. So now the trick to this partial die cutting is this plate right here. So what we're going to do, hopefully you can see the pencil outline of that rectangle shape that we drew. So I'm just going to flip this over because the die plate needs to go inside of the machine so it cuts properly. So I'm just going to take my plate, my mini plate, and I'm going to line it up on that pencil line here and here. So you can see that it's a partial butterfly cut because it's only going to cut what's underneath this mini plate right here. What's extending past that plate will not die cut. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and send that through the machine, and I'm going to hold that until the machine grabs it, which is right there. That's good. Okay. So then once you get that cut through the machine, turn it over to make sure it cut, and it did. You can see exactly right where we wanted to cut it. So now we're going to cut our second butterfly with the larger butterfly, lining this up. Now remember, everything inside of that pencil line is going to be cut. So we're going to line up our die. Once again, we're going to take our tape and just tape that down into place. But I want to be able to still see my pencil line right where I want to cut. So I'm going to take my plate, I'm going to slide that in, and I'm going to line this up with my pencil line. Again, with my mini plate, I can line that up so much better. I'm just trying to not put my head in the camera so I can see right where to cut for this butterfly. Okay, that looks really good. So now you can see what is underneath the cutting plate is going to be cut, and then this part over here that's extending will be attached to the card base. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and send that through the die cut machine. Okay, I'm going to pull this out, and then you should see right where you cut it out. Okay, so let me go ahead and move this die cut machine. So let's bring in our card. All right, let me remove this die with our tape on there. Okay, so now you can see the partial die cutting part of the butterfly. See this part right here? So you can see that he's still attached to the base of the card, and then this one as well. Okay, so now we're going to just cut out this frame. We're going to follow our pencil line. Well, this little loop-de-loo here, I'm going to make sure that that's cut straight. So let's grab our paper snips. I'm going to start cutting down here because it's right by the wing and I have a big open space right here. So let me go ahead and start cutting right on to that pencil line. Okay, so there's our window. Actually, you can't see it like that, but there's our window. Can you see the partial die cutting with the butterflies and how they look like they're floating there? That's how you do it. Okay, so now we got to remove our pencil lines because you can see the pencil line between the butterflies right here. So let me go ahead and grab my eraser. So when you cut your window of the rectangle shape, you want to make sure that you go through and erase all the pencil lines. I mean, you might even cut all the pencil lines off, but you just want to make sure that there's no pencil lines. Okay. That's the card. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so now let's go ahead and build our shaker card. So we're going to use a piece of window sheet. Remember, this is cut at 3 by 4 1/4, and these window sheets come, I think, in 12 by 12 sheets, and you get 2 of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our piece of window sheet right over top of that cutout of that rectangle window. So I'm just going to use the Stampin' Seal for that. And you want to make sure you're going just around the window, because if you put adhesive on the back of the butterflies, they won't move or be like separated from the card. And that's the whole illusion of the partial die cutting. So we're just going to go ahead and attach our window sheet, just like that. Then we're going to build our window little frame around the inside with our foam adhesive strips. And this is just going to make the frame to hold the sequins so they don't fall out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build around the edges a little bit more, because my cardstock with the Mango Melody is going to go right over top of this. So I don't want the sides to be too mushy. All right, now we can go ahead and peel off the backings of our foam adhesive strips. Okay, so I'm going to be using the sequins for everything. Now these were in our, I think they were in the holiday catalog, but they're also available now in the new catalog. So they are coming back. So what I did for my previous sample, I took a little bit of the mango color of the sequins, took a couple pinches of those, and then I mixed up with the gold. So you also have green and red in the sequins, and they're so pretty. So take a couple pinches of both of the colors if you want. That's what I'm doing. Okay. All right, now we're going to take our Mango Melody cardstock, and we're just going to set this right over top of the card to encase those sequins inside of that little cubby area of the card, and press that down. Okay, and then plus when you color these butterflies like I did on my sample, I colored them with the Stampin' Blends. So the Mango Melody covers up the bleed through of the Stampin' Blends. So isn't that beautiful? So there's your shaker part of the card. Now let me show you the finished one that I colored already. Okay, so here's the finished one with the butterflies that are colored. So that's how you make that cute little butterfly card with the shaker window and the partial die cutting technique. And then I colored the butterflies in with the Mango Melody Stampin' Blends. These are retired. You could also use the Daffodil. And then I also used the Cajun Craze Stampin' Blends in the combo. Okay, so let me show you another one. So now here's one that I didn't make into a shaker card. I just put a piece of Mango Melody cardstock behind that cutout window. You can see there. So there's no shaker window, but I did add some of the Artistry Bloom sequins, which are right here. This is the color that I used on that. Just sprinkled some across the front. Isn't it pretty? So you can still see that the butterfly is still detached right here and right here, but it's not a shaker card. Okay, so I wanted to show you another version if you didn't want to make the shaker card. Okay, so here's those two. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. Also, if you liked today's video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up. I'll have all the items listed down below, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye!